Aaron Donald was ranked as the 31st best defensive tackle in the 2010 college football recruiting class, so we're the 30 defensive tackles ranked higher than him now. What to start just in front of him at number 30 is Daniel Noble, coming out of Flower Mound, Texas, who committed to play for Oklahoma. And he actually got to see playing time in his true freshman season with the Sooners, but after this, he never played another down in college football. And now he currently works as an actuarial analyst for Point32 Health. And coming in at number 29 is Tadavius Glenn, coming out of Ellsville, Mississippi, who committed to play for Miami. Sadly, though, he never played in Miami, going the JUCO route and playing at Jones College, where he became a very sought-after JUCO recruit, but sadly never transferred anywhere. And now he currently works as a roofer for Action Labor and Staffing Connection. And at number 28 is Calvin Smith, coming out of Florida, who committed to play for New Mexico. And he actually had a very solid true freshman season at New Mexico in 2010 with 13 tackles. After this, though, he never played another snap for them, transferring to Regina College in 2013. He never made it in professional football and is now currently the equipment operator for Freelance. And at number 27 is Denzel McCoy, coming out of Georgia, who committed to play for Georgia Tech. And sadly, he never played a single snap of college football at Georgia Tech, as he was diagnosed with a medical condition which ended his career. And now he currently works as a project manager for the rental center expansions for Home Depot. And coming in at number 26 is Daquan Jones, coming out of Johnson City, New York, who committed to play for the Penn State Nittany Lions. And he didn't do much of anything in his first two seasons at Penn State before having a good year in 2012 and then bursting on the scene in 2013 with 48 tackles and 3 sacks as he be named a first-team All-Big Ten selection. And this allowed him to be selected in the 4th round of the 2014 NFL Draft by the Tennessee Titans, where he was a very good defensive tackle for them for 7 seasons. And after this, he played 1 year with the Panthers before signing with the Bills, where he's been very good and just signed a 2-year contract extension. And just cracking into the top 25 is Jonathan Hankins, coming out of Detroit, Michigan, who committed to play for Ohio State. And he had a solid true freshman season at Ohio State before bursting on the scene in 2011 with 66 tackles and 3 sacks. And then in 2012, he was absolutely amazing once again, as he be named a first-team All-American and a first-team All-Big Ten selection. And he would then go on to be selected in the 2nd round of the 2013 NFL Draft by the New York Giants, where he was solid there for 4 seasons. And ever since this, he's really began to bounce around the NFL and has been a solid player. He's played in 169 games in his career and has made 433 tackles and last played with the Seattle Seahawks in 2024. And coming in at number 24 is Joshua Watson, coming out of Wilmington, Delaware, who committed to play for the Clemson Tigers. And at Clemson, he absolutely saw no playing time in his first 2 seasons there, as he became converted to a linebacker and was pretty solid for the Tigers for 3 seasons. After this, though, he went undrafted and signed with the Denver Broncos, never playing a single snap in the NFL. And now Watson is currently the Director of Career and Professional Development for the Clemson Football Player Relations. And at number 23 is Fershad Hunter, coming out of North Carolina, who committed to play for NC State. And he committed to play for North Carolina State, but never actually went there. He bounced around many different junior colleges and is now currently playing for the Carolina Cobras, an indoor football league team. And coming in at number 22 is Byron Jones, coming out of Junction City, Arkansas, who committed to play for the Arkansas Razorbacks. And he immediately saw playing time at Arkansas and was a pretty good defensive lineman for them for 4 seasons. He racked up over 150 tackles in his career there and had 13 tackles for loss, but never made it in professional football. And now he currently works as a high school defensive coordinator for Junction City. And coming in at number 21 is Keraton Martin, coming in of Madison, Mississippi, who committed to play for the Ole Miss Rebels. And overall, he would go on to play 4 seasons for Ole Miss, and which is kind of a disappointment there, only making 17 total tackles in his entire career. And now he currently works as the office operations coordinator for Genesis Development Group. Just cracking into the top 20 is Kenneth Carter, coming in of Greenville, Alabama, who committed to play for the Auburn Tigers. And he won a national championship in his true freshman season there, but overall just did not do very much for Auburn for 4 seasons, so he never made it in professional football. And now he is currently Auburn University's Assistant Director of Player Development. And at number 19 is Chase Rome, coming out of Columbia, Missouri, who committed to play for Nebraska. And he played 2 years in Nebraska where he was solid but never amazing, transferring to Memphis in 2013 where he also didn't do very much. And now Chase Rome is currently an up-and-coming jiu-jitsu coach. And at number 18 is Ivan Robinson, coming out of Longville, Louisiana, who committed to play for Texas A&M. And he would go on to play 4 years for the Aggies where he was solid but never really that amazing, never making it in professional football. And he became a PE teacher and now currently works for Dell Technologies in the inside technical sales department. And at number 17 is Evan Hales, coming out of Chesapeake, Virginia, who committed to play for Penn State. And he was a complete and total bust at Penn State, only ever playing 1 game there in his entire career, and now currently works as a security professional for CSR Security Solutions. And coming in at number 16 is Eric Humphrey, coming out of Dallas, Texas, who committed to play for Oklahoma. And he never played a single snap of college football at Oklahoma, transferring to Sam Houston State, where he was solid there for 2 seasons, making 15 tackles, but never made it in professional football. And just cracking the top 15 is Mike Thornton, coming out of Georgia, who committed to play for the Georgia Bulldogs. And he didn't do much in each of his first 2 seasons at Georgia, but then had a solid year in 2014, but sadly went undrafted, never playing a single snap in the NFL. And he now currently works as an advisor for XXI Financial Incorporation. And at number 14 is Calvin Barrett, coming out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, who committed to play for the Arkansas Razorbacks. And he never played at Arkansas, transferring to Oklahoma State, where he had 2 solid seasons there. After this, though, he went undrafted and never played a snap in the NFL and is now currently a project manager for Trademark Exteriors Restoration. And just in front of him at number 13 is Todd Chandler, coming out of Miami, Florida, who committed to play for USF. And he didn't see any playing time in his first 2 seasons there, and after he had 3 solid seasons at USF, but never made it in professional football. And at number 12 is Sione Patoe, coming out of Lakewood, Washington, who committed to play for the Washington Huskies. And he actually saw playing time in his first 3 seasons at Washington, but overall just didn't do very much and never played college football again. And coming in at number 11 is Cassius Marsh, coming out of Thousand Oaks, California, who committed to play for UCLA. And at UCLA, he'd immediately be converted to a linebacker and was solid there right away. He played 4 seasons there, having 145 tackles and 9 sacks as he'd be selected in the 4th round of the 2014 NFL Draft by the Seattle Seahawks. And overall in the NFL, he was solid at times, but was never amazing, bouncing around many different NFL teams and last playing with the Bears in 2021. And just cracking into the top 10 is Leon Orr, coming out of Newport Richey, Florida, who committed to play for the Florida Gators. And he would go on to play 4 seasons with the Florida Gators, where he became a pretty solid defensive tackle. Despite this, though, he still went undrafted in 2015 and signed with the Oakland Raiders, but only ever played 1 season with them. He then played with the Dolphins in 2016, and after that bounced around many different teams, last playing with the Tampa Bay Vipers of the XFL in 2020. And coming in at number 9 is Jeffrey Whitaker, coming out of Georgia, who committed to play for Auburn. And he would immediately go on to play 3 years for the Tigers, but overall was just a bust there, never recording a single sack. And now he currently works as an NIL administrator for the Auburn University. And at number 8 is Taylor Bible, coming out of Denton, Texas, who committed to play for the Texas Longhorns. And he was a complete and total bust at Texas, only ever playing 1 game in his entire career. And right in front of him at number 7 is Garrison Smith, coming out of Atlanta, Georgia, who committed to play for the Georgia Bulldogs. And he didn't do much in his first 3 seasons there, but then he exploded on the scene in 2013 with over 60 tackles and 6 sacks. Despite this, somehow he still went undrafted in 2014 and signed with the Dolphins, bouncing around many different teams and actually getting to see some playing time in the NFL. After his short career was over in the NFL, though, he's now currently a graduate assistant for Arizona. Coming in at number 6 is Kelsey Corals, coming out of Fort Union, Virginia, who committed to play for South Carolina. And in his first 2 seasons at South Carolina, he was solid, but then dominated in 2013. In this season, he had 39 tackles and 9.5 sacks as he became a first-team All-American and a first-team All-SEC selection. Sadly, though, he still went undrafted in 2014 and signed with the New York Giants, but only ever played 2 games in the NFL with the Indianapolis Colts, as he was mostly a practice squad player, bouncing around many different teams. And just cracking into the top 5 is Anthony Dorsey, coming out of Tyler, Texas, who committed to play for the Texas Longhorns. And overall, in his 3 years at Texas, he was kind of just a complete bust there, only having 1 sack in his entire career, and now currently works as a fleet driver for Dollar General. And coming in at number 4 is Ricky Humuli, coming out of Glendale, Utah, who committed to play for the Oregon Ducks. And he didn't see any playing time until 2013 there, where he had a solid season with a sack, but sadly went undrafted in 2014 and signed with the Jaguars. And he never played a single snap in the NFL. And just cracking into the top 3 is Lewis Nix, coming out of Jacksonville, Florida, who committed to play for Notre Dame. And in his 3 years at Notre Dame, he was a solid player, but was never that amazing, still going on to be selected in the 3rd round of the 2014 NFL Draft by Houston. Despite getting drafted relatively early, he never played a single snap in the NFL and sadly passed away early on in 2021. Coming in at number 2 is George Uko, coming out of Chino, California, who committed to play for USC. And at USC, he was a great player there for 3 seasons, racking up over 10 tackles in his career, but still went undrafted and signed with the New Orleans Saints. After this, he bounced around many different teams, never playing a single snap in the NFL, and last played in the CFL for the Ottawa Red Blacks in 2018. And coming in at number 1 is Dominic Easley, coming out of Staten Island, New York, who committed to play for the Florida Gators. And he'd be converted to a linebacker at Florida and was solid there for 4 seasons, but was never amazing. And based on potential, he'd be selected 29th overall in the 2014 NFL Draft by the New England Patriots. And he only played 2 years with the Patriots, winning a Super Bowl, but just wasn't that great there, so he joined the Los Angeles Rams, where he played for 2 seasons, and after 2018, he was never in the NFL again.